If letters existed in physical space, how easy or hard would it be to carry them? I feel like ranking them because, well, I have nothing better to do. And we'll start with T, which is pretty atrocious as soon as you imagine trying to move it anywhere. It's one of those shapes that looks manageable until you actually have to interact with it like a real physical object. It wasn't a problem when it was just being used to spell words like tractor or telephone, but now when we have to deal with it in real life, the top is too wide and very high up, giving it an unusually high center of gravity. You'd probably end up grabbing the base of the T and dragging it along the ground like some awful medieval farming tool, which would be bad enough on a clean floor, but outside you've got all kinds of muck in the way. The top starts collecting dirt, grass, little stones, bits of pavement. It gets heavier every meter you drag it. By the time you reach wherever you're going, the T has basically turned into a snowplow for filth. You're sweating, your hands hurt, and on top of all that, someone nearby is definitely wondering why you're transporting a giant letter like you've been hired by the Alphabet Council. Number 9. P. P is only marginally better than T, and I do mean marginally. The advantage P has is that if you drag it behind you, at least the rounded part isn't collecting half the countryside. That curved section rolls over the ground a bit cleaner. It's very impressive. Well done, P. You've achieved the absolute minimum requirement of being slightly less annoying than T. The problem is balance. Yeah, you see, it's all that weight at the top. The big round section makes it awkwardly top-heavy, so when you try to carry it, it keeps twisting away from you. It's like trying to walk a large dog that doesn't respect you. You pull it one way and it turns another. You could tuck the vertical bit under your arm, but then the loop sticks out behind you and clips every doorway, fence post, and innocent passerby within a 10-foot radius. This would be a nightmare if you were moving house. You'd get it stuck in every stairwell once and just leave it there for the next tenant to deal with. 8. D. D would be like trying to carry a massive tortoise that doesn't want to come out of its shell and walk itself. Like, come on, you lazy rock. You've got legs. Save me using mine. It has that same awkward rounded bulk where you can sort of get your arms around it, but not in a way that gives you any confidence. I've tried lifting a small tortoise before, and even that was weirdly difficult. Let me tell you, they're heavier than they look. They pull their legs in, and somehow they make you feel guilty for bothering them. Now, imagine that scaled up to human size and made out of whatever giant letters are made from. I don't know, probably metal or dense plastic, something equally irritating, I imagine. The flat side of the D helps a little because you can press it against your body, but the rounded side sticks out and shifts the weight away from you. So now you're waddling around with this enormous shell-like object in your arms, breathing through your mouth, trying to pretend you've got the situation under control, when we all know you definitely haven't. Number 7. B. B kind of looks like a backpack, which gives it some promise. 2 rounded compartments, a solid spine, and a shape that says, maybe you can wear me. And for one brief second, you think this could actually work. Yeah, huge mistake. You realize there are no straps. There's nothing to secure it to your body. You're just sort of hugging this huge backpack-shaped letter from the front or trying to balance it on your back while hoping it doesn't slide off and crush your ankles. Oh yeah, and don't forget, it's also massive. A normal backpack is already annoying enough when it's overloaded. Like, come on, do you really need a Stanley Cup in there? They're dumb anyway. But now scale that up to a full human-sized B. In no world are you casually strolling with this. You're leaning forward at a worrying angle, praying your spine isn't instantaneously snapped like a twig. The 2 rounded sections do at least give you somewhere to grip, so it's not completely hopeless. You could wedge your hands around the gaps and shovel along for a while, but you'd look ridiculous. From behind, people would think you were slowly being eaten by a letter. Number 6. O. Have you ever tried to carry something that is just round, like completely spherical? Say a massive boulder. Oh, no, wait, actually, that's boring. A massive chicken nugget, that's completely round. So wait, not the McDonald's one. More like a chicken ball. Anyway, my point is it'd be terrible. Having nowhere to grip is extremely frustrating. Your hands slide around the side like your arms aren't getting comfortable, and even lifting it off the ground becomes a full body puzzle. Even if you crouch down and try and get your fingers underneath it, it's still useless because the shape is fighting you before you've even started. If you do, however, somehow manage to get it onto your back, that's where O becomes strangely powerful, like in a philosophical kind of way. Now you can aura farm like Sisyphus. Just stood there under the weight of this giant circular burden. People walking past would assume you're doing some sort of performance art or being punished by a Greek god. 5. M. M is an absolute nightmare if you're on your own. It has too many points touching the ground, which means something is always catching. You lift one side and another bit scrapes. You adjust your grip and one of the legs clips a curb. It's like carrying IKEA furniture after it's been assembled. God, why did I open this already? It was so much easier to maneuver when it was flat packed in a box. The shape is wide as well, so you can't comfortably get your arms around the whole thing. You end up grabbing one of the peaks and dragging the rest. It would make a horrible sound as well. That scraping, clattering noise that makes everyone nearby turn around and stare. Like, bro, we're in a library, come on, read the room. So yeah, on your own, M is completely unmanageable. We've established that. But what about with a friend? Well, suddenly it gets much better. There are multiple places to grip, so 2 people can take a side each and actually carry it like responsible adults. Well, adults carrying a giant M, so not that responsible. But this is the first letter where teamwork genuinely changes everything. Alone, you're fighting it. With someone else, it becomes manageable. Only 2 problems here. First, this is a video about how one person could carry a massive letter by themselves, so kinda defeats the objective. And secondly, you don't have any friends. If you did, you'd be out there touching grass, but instead you're at home watching pointless videos. Number 4. L. L is much better than it first looks. If you flip it over, you can carry it on your back with both sticky out bits pointing downward. Kinda like... Actually, yeah, let's not make that comparison. Might offend a few people. But anyway, that sounds awkward, but it actually lowers the center of gravity, which makes it easier to balance. It's not exactly comfortable, it's got a few angular corners, but it makes sense. You could actually transport this to your new apartment without needing to stop every 6 steps and question your life. Number 3. J. J is where things get surprisingly comfortable. The hook shape gives you a proper way to carry it. You sling the curved part over your shoulder and let the rest hang down below you. That smooth curve is the key. It sits nicely instead of digging into your neck like some of the sharper letters would. You're basically carrying an oversized walking stick or a weird shepherd's crook. Like all these letters, it's still oversized, so it's super heavy. But at least the shape is cooperating. It does make you look like a bit of a cartoon villain traveling to a job interview, but that's not really a transport issue. If anything, it gives you presence. People might move out of your way just because they don't want to ask why you've got a giant J hanging off of you. Number 2. C. C is genuinely good. You could rest it around your neck like a pool noodle, which instantly solves a lot of the carrying problem. The weight sits across your shoulders, your hands can hold the lower ends, and the shape wraps around you instead of trying to escape. It's one of the few letters that feels like it actually wants to be carried by a human body. You just wear it. It's basically like a heavy scarf. And if you get tired, C has another huge advantage. It looks pretty comfortable to lie inside. Place it on the ground, you can curl up in the curve and have a little break. It's practical, easy to grip, and it gives you a rest option. That's more thoughtfulness than I expected from most letters. Number 1. I. It's just perfectly symmetrical, easy to understand, and it doesn't have random sections sticking out trying to make your life harder. The best method is to carry it horizontally across your shoulder. Once it's balanced in the middle, the weight distributes evenly on both sides. This is actually used in real-world scenarios. For example, this is basically the same idea as one of those long poles used to carry pails of water in some countries. The human body has already solved this problem, and I just happens to fit a solution perfectly.